Hello, beautiful soul, and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a reading on the new moon in Sagittarius, which is occurring on or around December 1st, 2024, depending on where in the world it is that you are located. This new moon is really exciting because the position of the sun and the moon, conjunct at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, is paralleling a lot of the different aspects that Mercury will be making with the planets during its retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. So I highly encourage anybody finding this video who wants to know more about the placements, the aspects, and what's going on with just what we're going to briefly mention here before we get into the cards, to go ahead and check out that video. I feel this very much as an opening energy for the rest of Mercury retrograde, as well as Mars retrograde, which is linked into this as well, being that Mars turns retrograde on December 6th, and Mars is active in this conversation during the new moon, as well as active with Mercury during the retrograde. So there's a story beginning here. But this story is going to continue for some all the way until May 1st of 2025, when Mars completes his shadow period from his retrograde in the sign of Leo and briefly back into the sign of Cancer as well. So what are we feeling here? What are we experiencing? We're having a powerful paradigm shift. This is happening internally for many of us. We may see some external evidencing of this as well, being that this new moon energy in Sagittarius is a very breakthrough energy, particularly when we have it occurring in a trine to Mars in Leo, and actually in a grand fire trine that also includes the North Node in Aries. So this is a big, big energy opening and creating this window of possibility that Mercury's retrograde and Mars's retrograde is going to see us through. During this time, we may begin to have surprising revelations. We really want to pay attention to what's coming into our world during this time, particularly where we're being called to explore, where we're being called to expand our perspective, what belief systems perhaps are coming into focus. We have a square going on to Saturn in Pisces here. So there is this energy of releasing and letting go of some type of soul lesson, some type of karmic lesson that we have been working through. This is a process that is going to be leading us through the completion of those karmic lessons or those karmic contracts, which is, needless to say, a really, really beautiful thing. So Saturn, when we have aspects to Saturn, particularly squares, oppositions, these harder aspects, it can be a bit challenging. There can be some resistance here. However, if we lean into that, if we surrender into that, as Pisces energy ruled by Neptune is always asking us to do, there is a way forward. And that is really what this new moon is all about. It's about charting that course forward. It's about the things that we are becoming curious about, interested in. It's about delving more deeply into those topics, delving more deeply into those themes, and seeing what there is for our soul to find. Already there's downloads coming through here surrounding this. Did we mention Mercury's in retrograde? The Mercury retrograde video was a bit of a mess. I'm going to tell you right now, for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, it's communications, all these things that Mercury rules can go a bit haywire. So I'm probably going to be stumbling over my words more than usual at this time. So just bear with me. But there is this energy coming through here of the fact that our soul gifts and abilities are really unlocking at this time. There's even something with Saturn here and the unlocking of the light codes within our DNA, within our light body, which is part of what Saturn's procession through Pisces has been all about. So these gifts and abilities are beginning to unlock. And this Sagittarius new moon, as well as the Mercury and Mars retrogrades, are going to be leading us down a pathway that's going to assist us in integrating those gifts and bringing those to the forefront. This is why we said pay attention to what you're curious about, where you're being drawn, what it is that you're wanting to study, whether this is a new modality that you're wanting to learn, a new meditation practice, a new culture that you're suddenly interested in. Whatever it is, pay attention and start looking, start digging, start learning. Sagittarius energy is all about that. It is the gypsy, it is the traveler, the teacher, the eternal student as well. So allow yourself to expand upon your curiosities and simply know that, as we said, they are what is going to help you to cultivate these new soul gifts and abilities that are unlocking within you. I say new as in new to you in this lifetime, not new overall. These are very old, ancient gifts and abilities that your soul has always carried within it, that, as we said, are simply coming to the forefront. And this is why the DNA thing was being brought up to my attention. As our DNA unlocks, as these light codes begin to unlock the DNA, this soul's blueprint begins to come online, and these latent gifts and abilities begin to activate. So that is what is going on, which is so truly just so incredibly exciting. What else do we want to say before we get into this reading here? Yep, some of the other aspects we have going on. We have that square to Saturn. We have that opposition. It's a loose opposition to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, and a very, very, very loose conjunction to Mercury retrograde. Mercury's over at 20 degrees of Sag. So I wouldn't necessarily call that a conjunction, except for the fact that we know that that Mercury is going to be hitting a lot of these same points. Throughout Mercury's retrograde, Mercury is going to be in a loose trine to Mars, in that loose fire trine, particularly when we move a little bit more toward the December portion of the retrograde, which is really coming right up here. It's keeping up with these videos has been a challenge lately, so thank you guys for bearing with me. It feels like time is on overdrive right now, like fast forward. With the retrograde, a lot of times time feels like it's slowing down, but I don't necessarily think that's going to be a thing during this particular retrograde, simply because we have Mercury very active with the great attractor, which is a point that dissolves all time and space. So just buckle up is all I can say. So we have that loose opposition to Jupiter retrograde. This is once more calling into question what I really feel it as. This is sometimes when our belief systems get challenged, it can be intimidating, it can be frustrating, it can be scary, but I don't feel that so much, at least around the time of this new moon. It feels more exciting because it feels like it's for many people, at least in this particular energy that I'm channeling for around the new moon, this isn't necessarily a belief system that is catching us by surprise. We may have more as we continue to go through the Mercury retrograde that do catch us by surprise, because that's the name and game of the whole Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius opposite Jupiter retrograde in Gemini. This particular new moon energy, however, feels more like a belief system that you were aware of, but you just couldn't quite let go of. It had a grip over you no matter how hard you tried to shake it, like through affirmations, through visualization, through even taking action, which is a powerful way to begin shifting our beliefs. It was like still an undercurrent of it there. Mercury being retrograde right now and gently influencing this new moon, and that Jupiter retrograde as well in that gentle opposition here, I think is helping with this, because it's activating the subconscious, which is where these belief systems live. So to get the most benefit out of this, as well as the entire Mercury retrograde period, which goes until the 15th of December, the shadow period goes until the 2nd of January, meditate, meditate, meditate. Many, including myself, have really been guided to meditate lately. This is going to bring more clarity. This is going to continue to help these gifts that are activating, these DNA activations, light body activations, take root. It's going to help us to sort through and gain the clarity. So it is so incredibly important to do that moving through this energy. Where was I going with that? We're gonna keep flowing with it here. Let's see. I'm just gonna keep talking and see if it comes back to me. So this belief system, it's just been lodged in there, and all of a sudden it seems there's a shaking loose. That's what this really feels like. There's a shaking loose where it could be a final understanding about where this is rooted from. It could simply be that the energy of it no longer has such a strong hold on you and you're ready to move beyond it. and take that action. Now, the thing that can be frustrating when we're deep in a retrograde season, particularly when we have Mercury and then also Mars going retrograde on the 6th, and the December 6th is going to be December 5th and 6th are going to be massive days astrologically, energetically. So mark that on your calendar right now. We go into more of the energies of December 6th when we do the Mercury retrograde video. So like I said, check that out as well. But the 5th and 6th are powerhouse days of energy. So that could be where this process really, there's the deeper layer of illumination, because not only do we have Mars turning retrograde and a square perfecting, I believe it's a square between, it's not Jupiter and Saturn because that's happening on the 24th. So it would be the square between Mercury and Saturn. I believe that is perfecting on the 6th. We also have Mercury hitting the great attractor, and we have the Sun coming into conjunction with Mercury. So this is huge. Like we said, Mercury is in a gentle, very, very faint conjunction during the new moon, and then Mercury comes in and meets with that Sun after the moon has left and brings with it some final piece of illumination and some final empowerment, and allows for a deeper integration into the consciousness. So we're probably going to see this breakthrough beginning during this new moon and then really crystallizing. And then the rest of the Mercury and then the Mars retrograde is going to be about discerning and integrating and getting a deeper understanding, perhaps more beliefs, perhaps more things shifting internally. So it's going to be a breakthrough that continues to be integrated. But I really feel the meat of this coming through for a lot of people between this new moon and the 6th of December. As I was saying about the retrogrades, it can be a frustrating time when this illumination starts coming in. It's like, okay, good, I want to go. I want to get to it. However, Mars is retrograde even after Mercury finishes. Mars is retrograde until the 23rd of February. And as we said, that shadow period goes until the 1st of May. And that governs our willpower. It governs how we mobilize our energy. So there's still a slowdown. There's still an integration needed. We may see opportunities coming through, but there may not be an ability to fully capitalize on it until May. That's why we are being guided to continue to meditate, continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to, what they're showing me is that this activation of these latent gifts and abilities is going to need that time in order to really gain speed, in order to fully integrate. So we're going to be seeing the pathway forward. It's starting to light up for us, but there's still actions that we need to take that are more like internal actions versus external actions. So I guess you could say introverted versus extroverted, right? So it's like the meditation, it's the self-healing, it's the continuing to shed and release these energies and belief systems. And then once Mars completes the retrograde, and then really once Mars gets out of that shadow period, so springtime we're talking here, that's when it's really going to be go time, right around Aries season, in fact, which is pretty perfect in a lot of ways. So still really, really exciting. And we're going to get into the cards now, I do believe, and see what we can glean from them. We're going to start out with the Tarot for light workers and empaths. It's called something like that. Really beautiful. All right, what do we need to know? What more guidance can we have about this new moon in Sagittarius? We have the Four of Wands, grateful togetherness. And I'm being reminded, so definitely everyone, if you haven't yet, check out the Mercury retrograde video where I talked about the energy of Sagittarius as the archer. And we talked about that energy of beginning to cock back the bow so that we can shoot the arrow, and how this is really the process of taking aim. And I think it was when Mars completes that retrograde or that shadow period that we talked about the arrow being ready to be launched. All right. Let's see what else we're going to get. I want a couple more cards here. Although it's interesting, I'm feeling like with this card for somebody, there's like a literal homecoming energy. So this could be somebody that you haven't seen for quite some time, somebody that's been away, whether this is quite literally somebody who is in the armed forces, coming home from a tour of duty or something. It could be somebody who travels for work, or just somebody that you haven't seen, that you've been separated from, coming home. And for some people, this could be the coming back home to ourselves. So it may not be a literal person. For some, it's going to be, but it's definitely that beautiful energy of homecoming and celebration. I'm also feeling 4th of July energy here, which is interesting. So there may be something significant that sort of ignites right now that doesn't fully come through or manifest until the 4th of July, which is interesting. So this could even be if you are reconnecting with somebody that, say they are overseas or they are away, you don't live close together, it's like a long distance thing. You'll see them around the 4th of July, which is really, like I said, I think I just said that's really interesting like 15 times. All right, so we have looming burnout coming here with the 4 of Swords in reverse. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune, lucky twist of fate. So this is an interesting combination. I'm feeling like somebody here is feeling, as this card says, just really burned out. Like you've been burning the candle at both ends. You've been working really, really hard. And for some of you, this could even have to do with if you have a partner who travels for work or something like that. If you have kids and you're kind of the one at home tending to the children, that's just going to be for somebody. But just in general, this energy of burning the candle at both ends, working really, really hard, feeling really like you may end up catching a cold or something like that. Your body may force you to rest, or you may just be feeling really run down in general. But there's something coming that's going to switch up that energy. It's like that job that you put in for a while ago finally coming through. And when I say put in for, I don't even necessarily mean like you applied for a job. It could be a job that you energetically put in for that's coming through, that's going to make it so that you don't have to work as much, or that you're able to, or it could be an insight that comes through that allows you to work smarter rather than harder. Or it's simply something that allows you to put down some of the balls that you've been juggling, I guess. And we have disconnected goals on the bottom of the deck. So it could be just a realization about your goals and how you can shift those to reflect more of what it is that you want. You know, like for instance, if your goal is to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, I doubt many people who watch my channel have a goal like that. But if it were, maybe you realize that there's a different goal coming into mind now that doesn't require that amount of work. I mean, you really have to sacrifice a whole lot of your time and energy in order to achieve something like that, right? So it's like your goals are shifting. Maybe you're realizing that some of your goals that you are working yourself. Honestly, it almost feels like for some people, this might sound a little bit dramatic, but like working yourself into the grave over, it's like you're realizing that you're not even connected to them anymore. It was almost like it was an ego thing of like, I need to achieve this because of whatever it says about me as a person. If I do, like it's a box I need to check. It's because I've invested time into this, because I told people I was going to do it. Like, I don't want to look bad, that kind of thing. And it's like realizing like, I don't really care about that anymore. That's not really important to me. What is important to me is maybe it's my family. Maybe it's the people in my life. Maybe it's just being able to enjoy my life and my time. So that's going to be the lucky twist of fate for some people, is just like realizing like the goals that I set for myself are totally disconnected from like the ultimate end goal of what I want, right? Because it's like realizing the thing isn't what I want. What I want is freedom. What I want is enjoyment of life. What I want is fill in the blank. And these goals, these things that I've been striving for are not going to get me there. So what is? It's kind of like that energy. And for some people, the what is, like we said, is dropping right into your lap. And it is literally something that you put in for on an energetic level a long time ago. There's also this need to release expectations here as well. If we've had unreasonably high expectations of certain people, of certain circumstances, of ourselves maybe, it's time to let those go. That feels really resonant for somebody watching this. That's one of those belief systems, or one of those habits that's based on a belief system, perhaps of not being good enough, of having to prove your worth, where you have such high expectations of yourself, and it's like finally loosening those up a little bit. And that is when the magic is able to happen. Right? It's that energy of shooting all over ourselves, or comparing ourselves to other people or society's standards of where we should be at a certain time in our lives, or how we should be. It's like releasing all of that. I'm picking up on somebody who's like completely rebelling against the expectations of whether it's their gender or it's their age group or something. It's like I'm feeling somebody like dyeing their hair like purple or pink or some kind of awesome crazy color, and like really or getting some kind of really youthful haircut, something like that, kind of is like a big middle finger to like the expectations of society. So it's like really releasing those and letting those go. Could be somebody who's having a birthday. It's like celebrating you and celebrating the fact that like getting older doesn't have to mean, is really just a number, and it doesn't have to mean what society has told you it's supposed to mean. So that's really great. It's like somebody embracing, it's like deleting those old belief systems related to ageism, and really just owning your own energy and your own uniqueness and your own unique vibration. So I love that. I feel like whoever I'm talking to, you might have a significant Pluto transit going on, as well as some significant placements in Sagittarius, or these mutable signs. We got the Two of Cups coming out here. Perfect partnership. So there is love as well. And I feel like this releasing expectations is going to assist you in love as well, because it's like you might have been holding your potential partners up to a ridiculously high standard, or yourself up to such a high standard that it was like created this insecurity that made it really difficult to date, that made it really difficult to connect with people. And so it's like, and when we say releasing unrealistic expectations, that doesn't mean like we don't have standards for the people we date, but it means like, you know, some people, like I used to have a friend who refused to date a guy who was shorter than her, and she was really tall. So it was understandable because, you know, women, we like to feel petite, we like to feel like, and this is a generalization, I'll speak for me personally and for my friend at the time as well, you know, I like to feel as though the man has more of that, it's that like that divine masculine protective energy, like that strength. And ironically, I date a lot of people that are around my size, but the idea of that, like there is something to that, you know what I mean? Nobody's shorter than me. It's really hard for somebody to be shorter than me, no, though I can tell you. You may not be able to tell from on camera, but I'm like not even 5'2". So, but you know, like those types of standards and stuff that make it really difficult to find somebody, or might make you overlook the person that is actually perfect for you. You know, it's like, I only date guys that have this type of job, or I only date guys that have blue eyes, or, you know, I only date women who have red hair, or, you know, whatever it is. And it could just be certain personality traits or certain things. It's just, or I don't know, you guys get the drift of what I'm trying to say here. I'm using really obvious examples. It could be something a little bit deeper, but still something that really narrows it down. You know, we are in this age where there's so much connection, there's so much ability to meet people on all these dating apps, all of these different things. It's a very throwaway culture, at least in the United States where I live now, where somebody says the wrong thing out at dinner one night and it's like, all right, you're done, next. You know what I mean? So it could be that as well. It's just like being willing to work with people a little bit where it is that is appropriate, is kind of like what I'm feeling here. And also releasing, like we said, this expectations of the self. So it could be something like, you know, I can't date anyone until I lose 15 pounds. Or I can't date anyone until I'm at a certain level in my life because I want somebody who's at that level. And if I'm not at that level, how can I expect somebody at that level to want me? You know, thinking about like income or like different social standing, different things like that. It's like letting go of that stuff and being like, you know what? Or this is what I'm picking up on for someone. This is a more specific example, is like, I haven't healed enough. And it is admirable to want to be healed, to be in a relationship, right? So we're not just dragging all our old baggage and our old wounds into the new relationship. But we're never going to be fully healed. It is a journey, not a destination. There's an ever unfolding spiral or process. So it's kind of the same thing that I'm picking up on here with people who say like, you know, I can't help people yet because I'm not fully healed. You can help people get to the level that you're at. And for some people, that may be a huge jump. That may be hugely helpful because where they're at is so far away from where you've managed to I don't want to say find yourself because it seems like you just like, whoops, whoa, here I am, you know, like you've done the work to get there. But you know what I mean? So it's something like that. It's like the standard that you set for where you needed to be emotionally or in your healing process was perhaps unrealistic. And when you open up to that, like you might meet somebody that helps to get you that extra mile because you needed that interaction in order to help you move through some of these things. So yeah, lots of different energies for that. This is also, I feel like Spirit's saying this is a great time to write a manifesting list. If you're wanting to manifest a partner, write down a list of your ideal partner. What are you looking for? How do you want to feel in the relationship? What is it that you want them to bring to the relationship? What type of experience do you want that relationship to be? Maybe write out your perfect day with this person, what that would look like. Anything that brings in and calls in that energy of what you're looking for. Because remember, new moons are a great time for manifestation. I had to go turn down my heat because it was freezing in here. I cranked it all the way up and now I am roasting. And when I got up to turn up the heat, I saw the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. We're just talking about manifesting. So writing that, and this isn't just for your perfect partnership in terms of like love. Maybe some people aren't looking for love or you already have love. If you already have love though, Spirit's saying you can write an ideal day with your current partner. You can write about what you're wanting the relationship to look like. If there are shifts within the relationship that you're desiring, sort of write that out, put out that decree to the universe. This could also be your perfect job, your perfect career, whatever it is. This is a great time to write out that manifestation list. And I think we've talked on here, I know we've talked on here before about the 3-6-9 manifesting method. This is where you write out the things that you want 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and 9 times at night in the present tense as though you have them already. It's really, really powerful. I started doing it for a little while and I started attracting really interesting opportunities into my life that were clearly aligned with what I was putting on my list. I don't have the attention span, or I didn't at the time to complete the process. You're supposed to do it until the manifestation comes. I keep telling myself that I'm going to get back into it and then I'll do it for like a morning or something like that and then forget. But that could be a really powerful practice for somebody here to get into around manifesting their goals. What do we have here? We have the 2 of Swords. I'm not really sure how this popped out, but this is for somebody who's having a difficult time making a decision. Perhaps you've been overthinking it. And so as we have this Mercury retrograde progressing, we talked about how Mercury is going to be hitting the great attractor. And we talked about how that time around the 6th is also when we have the sun coming into conjunction with Mercury. And so Mercury and the sun together on the great attractor, that is a massive energy. So that could be a time where this breakthrough, you could be beginning to have this breakthrough now, and it could continue to crystallize as we move through that window. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to that energy. This is also as we're moving toward the 12-12 gateway, which is 12-12 to 12-21. And this is a major bifurcation point, a splitting point, dilation point of the earth as the dimensions, the 3D and the 5D earth split apart. As we're birthing out that 6th dimension, it's a really powerful time in the month of December. Stop thinking so much. Meditate Empty your mind during meditation. Focus on your breath and allow for the answers to filter through into your consciousness. It's not a choice that needs to be made with the mind. It's a choice that needs to be made with the heart. We have notable growth here, 3 of Wands. And then we have all in determined. So for some, I think the choice here is a choice of whether or not to go all in with something. And what I'm getting, and take this if it resonates for you, you'll know, you'll feel it in your body. You'll feel it in your heart if it does. You may be afraid of choosing a certain path because you know it's going to help you grow, but you're not sure if you're up to the task. You're not sure if it's going to be too much. But Spirit's saying if you have the determination, if you have the grit, which you do, just so you know, it's like it's going to be amazing for you. So don't be afraid. Spirit's saying you already knew what you already know what you wanted to do. It's just your ego has been over-analyzing it. Right? The inspired thought, Spirit's saying the inspired thought came from your higher self. And then the ego came in and started questioning and started analyzing and coming up with all the pros and cons and all the reasons why it might not work. But that original download was from your soul. So trust your soul. All right, any final cards from this deck before we pull the next one? Okay, glad I asked. So we got the Tower. We also have the Ace of Cups here. We have the 3 of Cups, or Pentacles rather. We have the King of Wands and the Hanged Man. So this is somebody who is emotionally ready to make a choice, to make a commitment or a decision surrounding building a lasting legacy or foundation that will require sacrifice and will require determination, perseverance. Like there's going to be work involved here. But you're ready for whatever this is. For somebody, this is going to be like a marriage, buying a home, like something like that. Starting a business. And whoever this is for, I feel like you weren't ready before, but you're ready now. On the emotional level, you didn't perhaps have enough emotional fortitude. There was still some emotional maturing that had to happen. You perhaps were still really attached to the old fill in the blank. But now you're ready. Now you're ready. It's like you finally get the insight that says, no, the sacrifices will be worth it. The work I will have to put into this will be worth it. It'll be worth it for what I'm gaining. And for some people, there may be some type of challenging situations that kind of forces your hand. Like you're ready, but you're not. For somebody here, it's like you're ready, but you're still not quite willing to make the leap. So Spirit kind of forces you into it in a sense. Although it's really not Spirit, it's your own subconscious, which is a topic for a whole other video. But everything is a creation of our unconscious, right? Because that's like 90% of our programming. That's why Mercury retrogrades, especially in signs like Gemini or Sagittarius, which are all about those belief systems. Sagittarius primarily here, are so great for revealing those subconscious energies. But those subconscious energies are constantly directing our lives. And so this Tower moment that pushes you into this change may seem like it's coming from the outside, but it's really your own energy. It's those thoughts, those constant thoughts of like, I wish this would happen for me. I want to leave this job, but I'm afraid. I want to commit to this partner, but I'm afraid. I want to do this, but what if, what if, what if? But that desire has been put out there. And so the universe is returning that energy to you. For others of you, it's a realization that you make for yourself. You feel within yourself that you're finally ready, but it's going to cause some turmoil in your life because some people aren't going to like it. because it's you making a choice that other people may not agree with. It might inconvenience other people for whatever reason. Say you have a roommate and you're moving out and starting a home, and they don't want you to do that because they're going to have to find somewhere else to live or somebody else to live with them. Whether this is like leaving your job and like your partner or people aren't happy about it because they feel like it's too much of a risk, or marrying somebody that your family doesn't approve of. There's like a million different ways that this could work. So somebody's gonna, for some of you guys, it's like somebody's feathers are gonna get ruffled, but that's okay. You're not here to please them. You're not living your life for them. You're living your life for you. And that's like the conclusion that somebody finally comes to here. All right. I'm going to pull a couple starlight frequency cards to close here. Clear. Oh, we missed one here. What did we miss? Oh, this was just the activation card, which is more of a thank you for the deck. And there are, as always, activation codes throughout this video. If you are open to receive them, you will. Let's see here. I realized that the other day. It was funny. I was editing one of my videos, and sometimes I repeat the same word constantly throughout the video, and I was like, why am I doing that? And then I realized it was an activation thing. So I don't always know where they are, but they're there. And the activations are all around you. Like I said at the beginning of this, when we were talking about the energies, the astrological energies, those latent gifts and abilities are activating within all of us right now. So we have past, present, and future possibility here. Acknowledge where you have been and where you are going. The possibilities are endless and yours to create. So this is a reminder, and I like this where we have Mercury. And then, of course, the moon after the new moon, and then not very long because the moon moves really quickly, coming into contact with that great attractor energy as well, which is, of course, a quantum field of energy where all possibilities do exist, right? It really helps us tap into that quantum field. So I really love this. This is about you becoming the conscious creator of your reality, really owning that, the good, the bad, the ugly of it. Deciding to leave the past behind you, to no longer dwell in the past. There's a book that I'm reading right now. It's all about clearing your karma and connecting with your soul's blueprint through utilizing the quantum Akashic records. And in that book, it talks about this energy where if you are unhappy in your life, if you are suffering, if you are in pain, you are reliving the past. That is right there a clear indication that you are stuck in a karmic cycle from the past. And we can liberate ourselves from those cycles. So I'm learning a brand new way to do that right now. That's my sort of new moon in Sagittarius energies that I'm pursuing. It's really cool. And this is a great time to work with the Akashic records or to work with the quantum field because of these energies of this Mercury retrograde that this new moon is taking place within. So clearing the karmic board. Wasn't it? We talked about, it was in one of the readings that we did recently where that really exciting energy came through about the karmic clearing, like where the karma was just being cleared out, collectively speaking. So this is really for somebody, it's like there's this, you've been playing chess, right? Like there's a chessboard on here, strategically thinking out all your moves. And it's like, this game has been going on for lifetimes. And finally, you just decide to clear the board. You sweep all the pieces off the board and you're like, I'm starting fresh. I'm starting fresh from here. My possibilities are infinite. So why am I simply recreating the past? And leaving the past where it belongs. So some of us were being given glimpses of these possibilities. And when we're given a glimpse of that possibility and we feel the energy of it, that helps us to align with that frequency. This is another thing that I've been becoming to understand on a deeper level, which is that we cannot manifest something that we are not the frequency of. And like the deeper realization of this is, some of us have never felt the frequency of the things we're wanting to manifest. We've never felt the level of happiness, of freedom that we're seeking to attain. And so until we can find a way to tap into that energy, we're not going to be able to bring that energy into our lives. It has to have some kind of reference point within our field. And the stronger that reference point and that resonance, the more powerfully we're going to attract that. So it's like setting that time aside to allow yourself to explore the infinite possibilities around you of the ways that you could feel. Sitting down in meditation, asking your higher self to show you what freedom feels like. Allow me to experience that feeling. We have expansive growth here. You are experiencing an infinite loop of expansion. I love that with the snake and the sunflower. So this is new beginnings. This is shedding the old skin. And then we got the infinity symbol, the 8 on here. The 8 could be significant for somebody. And then we have soul remembrance. Clips of your lives once lived seep through your subconscious. Acknowledge these memories so that you chose to enter this dimension of experience for deep healing. I know that was so super choppy the way I just read that. I am feeling something from this card though. And this has to do with that energy of the proximity with the great attractor as well. There's these memories. So this is what assists with the belief systems and shifting and changing and releasing these old karmic soul lessons, is these little memories. So some people may be having spontaneous past life recall here, interdimensional recall of different aspects of their being. Some people maybe, it's almost like, this is interesting. I feel for somebody like getting in touch with these other aspects of you, almost like calling them on the psychic phone, like you 20 years from now, you in a different dimension of experience, you in a past life, and being able to kind of like confer and swap stories, swap energy, swap information is almost what it feels like here. I know this is kind of wild, but that's kind of what's coming through here. It's like these subconscious, and for somebody too, this is like memories from this lifetime that had been repressed that are coming to the surface. That's some very Plutonic energy. So this could be somebody who's also getting aspects from Pluto, or is going to be getting aspects from Pluto here. Yeah, it's like the things that you weren't ready to remember before, you're now ready to remember so that you can, it's like release that. We were talking about like the, how the energies need a reference point. Release that reference point within your field to those type of experiences, that type of trauma. And it's not going to be that traumatic for everyone though. Like Spirit's saying, like some people, this is like a positive experience or memory coming through that's going to awaken within you some possibility that this lifetime had kind of beat out of you in a sense. Like a memory when you were very wealthy, or you were a priestess or a high priest or priestess, or something positive that helps to see yourself in a more empowered light and reactivates that soul memory or that blueprint within you, reactivates those light codes within you that have been dormant, and helps you to release the negative belief systems you might have been holding about yourself in this lifetime, or for many lifetimes, that have been holding you back from being able to access that part of you again. So that's really exciting. And this is also about, for some people, it's like finally accepting, because some of us, we may think that we've accepted the fact that we chose to incarnate here, but some of us still haven't really fully accepted that. And we're just like, why did I do this? You know, this is how many of us have said, oh, this is my last lifetime here. I am never coming back here. I don't know why I came back here. You know, it's like, we know that we chose this, but for some people, there's like resentment against ourselves, our higher selves, for choosing this. or for the particular lessons that we came here to learn, or for whatever it is. And it's like releasing that and really embracing the fact that we chose to be here and becoming, as we say on this channel, fully incarnated, where you're like, it's that energy that we pulled with the tarot, that all in determined. All right, I'm here, I'm doing it, let's go. Right? No more feeling sorry for myself, no more feeling resentful or frustrated because this is such a challenging experience. That's what I came here for. And I am up to the challenge. It's like that kind of an energy here. And like this beautiful energy that I'm feeling coming through of like the gratitude for that finally sinking in for some people. And then we have the way shower on the bottom of the deck. You are guiding others by living in alignment with your true authentic self. Remember to shine your light and lead by example. So a reminder for all of us, everybody watching this channel, you are a way shower. And you show through your example. You don't have to take anybody's hand. You don't have to drag anybody up, right? Drag anybody out of the darkness, right? You just stand in your light as a beacon and people come when they are ready. If they're not ready, they're not ready. Everybody, we have to honor everybody's journey. But we can continue to live as that example, as that light that others are ready to receive and be guided by when they finally decide that they too want to emerge from the darkness. So this isn't about saving anybody. It's about saving ourselves and being the model that shows other people that they have the power to save themselves too. And then just because this card is cool looking, I wanted to read it. Fifth dimension, you are ascending. Be gentle and nourish your human form at this time. Exist in a state of love, not fear. All right, beautifuls. Yeah, so this is about creating that safe and sacred space. We talked about stop playing small. Just another reminder there. We talked about this energy during the retrograde, the whole Mercury retrograde, of how intense it's going to be as people's belief systems are shifting. They're beginning to question their reality. They're maybe over defending their current or their previous viewpoint because they're feeling so unsure as that's beginning to shift. So it's almost like that overcompensating energy. So it's like, be in your own energy when you need to, disconnect when you need to disconnect. If you need to do a social media detox, whatever it is that you need to do, clear, to nourish yourself and stay connected with the beauty that you are. I love that I said stay connected with the beauty that you are. And then the Temple of Light card here says you are worthy. See the truth of who you are. A being of pure love light. Yeah. So major breakthroughs I'm feeling for people when it comes to self-confidence, when it comes to seeing ourselves, like we said, in a brand new way. All right. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so yet. If you would like to work with me directly, all of my information is in my website. That is in the description box below. You can also just shoot me an email. We can go back and forth and figure out what makes sense for you at this time. I do one-on-one coaching. I do all different types of readings, different types of energy healings, past life regressions. There is a whole lot to choose from depending on what it is that you individually need. So much love to you. Talk to you soon.